Okay, welcome to another episode of the Canucks Chatter podcast. I'm Rafal. That's Victor. You can find the Canucks Chatter on every episode on YouTube. We're also on X, Twitter, Instagram. Follow us, give us a like, give us some comments or any questions you have. Throw it up there. We'll take a look at it and discuss it on the podcast.
You can send it to our own personal Twitters. I'm at Sam Deviant. He's at Rafael Douglas.
Yeah, something like that. Someone will find the spelling. Big thanks to Greg Ballack, what we had on our show last week. Actually, I guess it was a couple of days ago. If you haven't had a chance, go check out that episode. It talks a lot about the goaltending for Vancouver, Four Nations, what he thinks about the team. It was awesome to have him on the show.
Thanks, Greg. Our resident goaltending translator gave us a lot of insight into the goaltending situation.
Yeah. If anybody doesn't know, Greg Ballack is many things, producer at the Halford and Brush show on Sportsnet.
AKA Laddie.
Yeah, Laddie. Also, he is trying to remember exactly. He does the play-by-play Delta.
And analyst for the Vancouver Giants, goaltending coach, etc. Man of many trades.
Yeah, some great takes and a lot of insightful information about goaltending. So check that out. But because of that, we didn't really have a chance to take a look at or talk about the Canucks this past week. A couple of games in California. Got 3 wins.
Road trip.
Yeah, they did.
6 points out of that. Played probably their best game of the season in LA.
Mm-hmm. And then not the greatest third period against the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, so it's positives. Go through the road trip first. That San Jose was a little bit dicey, but Jake DeBrusk got himself on the board for the Canucks. Got his first goal of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Break the ice, get that monkey off his back.
Yeah, good to see him to get that.
He was good in that game. He's known to be streaky, and he started out the season. He's getting points, but not enough. And California's good to him. Three goals, and continues that streaky process. And a little dicey there at times against San Jose, and blowing that late lead twice, and able to come back and still get that win in regulation, which is big. Didn't have to give up a loser point.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to judge. The Anaheim Ducks and the Sharks, they stink. Both teams, they're not good at all. But you still have to win those games. You still got to go out there and play. They got the points. Good game against the LA Kings.
That was an actual test, and they passed it with flying colors.
They
played a full 60 minutes that game, and deserved a win, despite some awful news coming out through a dirty hit by Tanner Jeannot on Brock Besser, or Brockstar.
Mm-hmm.
That was clear. I think 3 was too little. I think he should have gotten 5. What's 3 games to him when Brock's going to probably miss more?
I wonder too if has he been suspended before? I feel like Jeannot probably has been. Maybe
he hasn't, because he would have gotten more games as a repeat offender. Or if he is, the limitation of his previous suspension had gone past. But he is someone who plays very much on line, sometimes past it, and this was way over. It was a late
reason to do that.
And he went after the head. He didn't even try for the body. There's physicalness and there's dirty. That was a dirty play. 3 games isn't enough. I think it on plays like this, whatever games the injured player gets, I think the offending player should sit out the same amount. It's starting to get to that point now.
Yeah, it's tough. Like I can never really guess the suspensions because it's kind of all over the place sometimes. Sometimes you see something and you think that's going to be a few games, ends up being like a fine. Other times it's a long suspension. I agree. Probably 4 or 5 games, I think, should be the right amount. He gets 3. That was unfortunate. No reason to do that. Bad play. Didn't like it.
Yeah. Super late.
Yeah.
It's there's a difference between playing aggressive and being dirty. That was straight up dirty.
Well, it's also just the point of contact, right? It's the head right away. So, sometimes you do see like after the puck is already gone and someone still makes the check. That's one thing, but to target the head like that and the player that's not
Yeah,
suspecting it doesn't have the puck, I mean that's all the wrong things, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah. The head was the first point of contact. He did hit the chest, but man, out he went aimed straight for the head.
yeah,
We
it's a
got
hit
to
you
get
can't
rid
make.
of plays like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they're trying to. I mean it's we've come a long ways from the past where those kind of hits happen all the time. But
Scott
yeah, it's up to
Stevens
the
made a
players.
career out of that.
Yeah, yeah, that was unfortunate. But it's at the end of the day, it's up to the players, right? They're the ones who have to police themselves. People get suspended, but you just got to know when to make a hit and when not to make a hit, and
Maybe
when
you should
to target.
now because it's now you let the inmates run the asylum, and now maybe it's time for the authority to come in and make their own decisions. Hey, because they're doing a good job. The players are doing a good job of learning, but we have to get rid of them in general.
hmm Well, I suspect the next time the Canucks face the Kings, there has to be some kind of response, right? Someone
Yeah,
on the Canucks dressing room, you know, pretty much there's going to be a fight, right? That's
yeah,
usually how these things are settled, or some kind of play. You want to obviously the next time they face each other, you want it to be a distraction,
yeah.
but you have to address it, right? Like that's
If Desharnais is still with the team, I think that's for him to step up and throw some fisticuffs. I don't know if
yeah,
that's part of his game, but I think it is. I'll be going to
yeah,
that game on
okay,
January 16th.
right, yeah.
It's funny
They got
that their
some guys.
schedule, their last two games was against LA Edmonton. January 16th, they'll play LA. January 18th, they're playing Edmonton.
Well, I also wonder if Joshua is back by then, right? He's
He
back,
should
maybe.
be. He'll be back.
Yeah,
He
yeah, he
should
should
be
be back
back
soon.
by this week.
Yeah, so
Thursday is
he's
the
a guy that'll
target
look
date,
at.
apparently.
hmm And then Demko was also full practice. I think it was
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah,
Um,
today he got in more work as well. He got a whole
mm,
net, and then Kevin and Shelovs were able to share the second net.
yeah, yeah, because Shelos went down, the HL came back
Yeah,
up. I think it was just to get him
yeah.
a start. He played a
Played
game down there,
played
didn't he? Yeah.
and played well, apparently.
hmm
It's good for him. Get a little bit of confidence in it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna need that. He's got to play. Probably still, eventually he's gonna get sent down when Demko's back, but
Yeah. Unless they
you know,
want to carry three goalies, but doesn't look like that's going to work out. Carrying three
yeah,
goalies.
yeah. Some teams can do it. It really depends on the cap situation. So the thing, it's kind of hard. Like I look at like what we talked about before, like they're getting the points. They have 17 points in 13 games, 3 regulation losses only, 7 wins. Like it looks good, but the other things that
Yeah,
I look at are some of the underlying numbers. Goal differential, they're -1 right now, which isn't. There's a lot of teams that are minus, but I mean, you look at let's just say look within the division, the LA Kings +7, Golden Knights +18. Um, and the other aspect of that is that Vancouver's had probably one of the easiest schedules in the NHL. Zero back-to-backs yet. No back-to-backs. They haven't really faced continual like top competition. I mean, obviously, I think they're
Florida, Tampa,
Florida, Tampa,
Carolina,
Carolina, New
Carolina,
Jersey, and I don't know who else. Like those are the
Edmonton.
yeah,
Start
sure,
their start Edmonton's
yeah,
elite. We got to
Edmonton,
say they're elite.
yeah, yeah. But those are the good teams they face, but they also faced a lot of not so good teams. Their schedule coming up as well isn't too difficult,
Yeah.
so it's the
Like
time now to get those
Chicago
points.
and a struggling Nashville team.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Vancouver hasn't had a back-to-back yet. So many teams
I'm
have
okay
had
with that.
multiple back-to-backs. No, it's good. It means it's
The
going to be
travel's
coming at
hard
some point.
enough.
Yeah. Well, now's the time to get the points, so it's good that they're getting it. But I just having a tough time to read how this team is. But if you look at the positive side, that I think is despite that, the question marks, they're still getting points, and they're not particularly playing amazing or like full 60 game after game, right? So that they can play better, which is a good sign. I mean, what do you think?
Exactly. That's how it is. That Pedersen might not be getting the points and creating offensively, but he's been so solid defensively.
It's looking better, yeah.
He's playing well that way. JT Miller is the bigger concern right now. Is
Mhm.
his two-way stats have cratered. Or hasn't
Yeah.
been driving play as much. He does get the tough matchups defensively, but he hasn't dominated. And the fact that he's also being paired with Quinn Hughes, who is all world again, and he still hasn't lit the world on fire. So yeah, Patterson
Miller? Oh, yeah.
deserves the criticism, but have to start looking at JT as well for him to start getting a little bit better.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think he's shown spurts of him playing well, but we know what he's capable of, and he can be a real difference maker in games. And I just really haven't seen that, apart from small spurts, and maybe there's something going on there injury wise. But yeah, he's just
Which
got to
there
be.
is.
Yeah, there is, but it's hard to like. Well, if you haven't got an injury, then sit a couple games, let it go down, because to say someone's playing poorly because of using injury as an excuse all the time.
But
I don't
hockey
know.
players, you know how they are. They're going to play through anything.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, it's early
Yeah,
enough in the season that you have an
it's
easy schedule right now. If something is lingering you, that some rest can help. I think
it's
right
not
now
the
would be the time
NBA
to.
where they just take a break because they're feeling sore. These guys want to play every game.
Yeah, I know, but at the end of the day, it's about the team
That
success, right?
mentality will never change with hockey players that way. We know that even with beer leaguers like us, if we're a little sore, we'll still go out and play as well. Imagine
Yeah.
how their competitive drive is way higher than ours.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You got to have such a strong competitive drive to play in the NHL. Um, but yeah, just not seeing the dominance that JT Miller can have in games. When he's physical, engaged, and playing on both sides of the puck, he can make a big difference. And just haven't seen that consistently enough this season. But I don't know.
Like it's considering he starts majority of his shifts with Quinn Hughes on defense, he
You should
should
be.
be creating a lot more. Because Quinn Hughes is just having another Award Norris Trophy winning season right up there with Cale Makar, and
Yeah.
his two-way play outside of the Edmonton game has been outstanding all year. And if you're going to start with Hughes, you're going to have to produce a little bit more. I don't know if they want to start moving Hughes to play with Pedersen and see if Miller will get more responsibility. That will waken him up a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, he just didn't feel as engaged. I don't know. Like it's not moving his feet enough. Sometimes on the defensive end too. Like I think that's been in the past when Vancouver's been struggling. Aside from last year, like the years before, JT Miller did take some heat on his defensive play and his back check, and so yeah,
No,
that's a small thing he's got to
he
get better
he
at.
did have new line mates against Edmonton and Connor Garland and Nils Hoglander.
Hmm.
That line didn't work out.
No, I mean it's that third period just really hurt him. If we want to talk about that game, it's yeah, I don't know how many shots they ended up in that game. The last night it was like six, I think they had under 20 shots in the game, didn't they?
I don't remember the exact total they had,
Yeah.
but they didn't shoot much. And this was the
No.
first game that Rick Tocchet in his time has pulled the goalie outside of injury.
Hmm. Yeah. Do you think it was warranted? I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
Lankin had played probably his
it
first
was.
bad game.
It,
So
it wasn't his fault. He
no,
made a lot of nice saves that
yeah, there's that
he
stick
didn't make the
save that
save.
was
As Greg
insane.
was saying, there's a fine line between a backup and a number one, and he didn't make. He wasn't there to make that save, but couldn't blame him on any of the goals really.
There
This
was
was
that one that
just
slid 5-hole that was just
yeah,
a real bad goal. But
yeah. The defensive coverage was poor. That anyone, uh, all six defensemen will have to wear it on this one.
oh, for sure,
Anyone,
it's not his fault.
yeah,
Nowhere near his
can't,
fault that they
yeah,
lost. But
can't say Quinn Hughes was the was the one outlier. No, he was part of that six. He struggled.
yeah, yeah, there's just a few players that we haven't seen struggle at all this year that did. Yeah, it's
I
one
did.
game, but
I like the fight they had after being down 3-0, come back to score those
yeah,
two goals and still be down one in the third. But then not sure what happened in the third. Everything just broke down.
yeah, everything was ending up in their net. They didn't, yeah, generate enough. Edmonton just kept going, and I don't know. It wasn't.
Yeah,
Wasn't
they
a
had
good
to
effort in
shoot
the
on
third.
Stuart Skinner.
Yeah,
Greg has had great things to say about Skinner, but as the league, we've seen that he is
he's
very
streaky.
susceptible to letting in some weak goals, and they did not pressure him enough.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very streaky goaltender, right? Like in the playoffs, he played great, but even in that Vancouver series, he wasn't very good. In those
No,
7-game series, he
he got
wasn't very good.
pulled.
Yeah, he got
He lost
pulled,
his net.
and then some other series he plays out of his mind. It's you never know, but yeah, I don't, they didn't test him at all, so you couldn't even tell what kind of night he was going to have.
No. It's like first game back from a road trip. I get it, but man, that was not pretty.
No, I mean that was surrendered 7 goals against. That's not never a recipe for success.
That's twice now this year they've done that.
Yeah, I mean I don't know. Like it's the whole team, like you said, but definitely not putting on Lankinen. But there was a couple of goals that went in that just we never saw those goals going. A almost a point shot at the boards that goes 5-0.
Yeah.
The
only player that I would give a pass for that game would be Petey. He was
he looked better.
engaged throughout the game, and
Yeah.
Kiefer Sherwood, who
Yeah.
has been there every single game. It's only a 2-year contract. Is it too early to see if he wants a 7-year extension?
Yeah, I'm sure he wants to up his value before he signs anything more.
Oh, he's pretty high right now.
What's his
Nashville could use
AAV?
a player like him.
Yeah.
I think maybe
Nashville.
2.3.
Is it 2.3? Yeah.
It's around $2 million. Very
Something.
team-friendly deal. 2 years.
Oh no, it's 1.5 per season.
It's a steal right now.
Yeah,
right?
great
If he
contract.
keeps playing like this, his next contract is going to be. You might have to flip the 5 and the 1 together. He scores more goals too.
Yeah, what is he? I don't know if he'll get that much, but who knows? Who knows? I mean, he's good.
And that third line has been good for the most part of him, Heinen, and Bluer.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's been him and Quinn Hughes could be the 2 most consistent players on the team, really. If you talk about like day in day out.
Yeah. They've been there, and Connor Garland.
Yeah, I'd Garland.
The little engine that could.
Yeah.
But
it's interesting.
Put that game to rest, and I guess gotta look forward to the next game now.
Yeah, which is tomorrow night against Calgary, I believe, right? Yeah.
Revenge for opening night.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Calgary's kind of, settled down a little bit since their hot start. They lost their last 2.
Looking more like the Calgary we were expecting.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was sustainable. It was great, but you just look at the roster, like this is not. I just don't see it as a playoff team. Not good enough.
A couple good defensemen in Uyghur and Rasmus Anderson.
Yeah, they got pieces there, but just not enough.
Kadri's still a good second, third line center. Huberdeau is maybe awakening from his 2-year slumber.
Yeah, I mean he's got to get going. I mean he's looking better this year though. When I've seen him, he's a little more engaged and
he's
making plays.
And now no one's making fun of him for not doing anything.
Yeah, I'm sure that was a lot of pressure. He's making what? Is it 10.5 or 9.5?
I think.
Is it that much? I think it's. I thought it was 10.5. I don't know. I could be wrong.
11.2.
10.5. Yeah, 10.5. But
he wasn't even close to point a game last year.
No, I mean before he came to Calgary on Florida, he had over 100 points, right? Yeah. So the pretty weak schedule coming up. So hopefully Vancouver can continue to get points because when back-to-backs and all that come up and tough teams. Yeah.
There's one this week. I can't remember who they're playing Thursday, but they got Chicago and Nashville coming up. Nashville on Sunday.
Yep. Yeah, they have New York Islanders as well on Thursday.
They get Chicago and Nashville back-to-back on Saturday, Sunday. The rare Saturday, Sunday back-to-back.
First back-to-back. Yeah. Against
yeah. I wonder
Should
which game Kevin gets to play. Both games will be revenge games for him.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'd almost rather him against Nashville
Yeah.
on the second of the back-to-back, because that's a tougher opponent. Like Chicago, I think goaltending shouldn't be the problem if
Yeah.
you can't win 2 points. So
Well, hometown hero Connor Bedard's coming back for his first game here.
yeah, that should be
Yeah.
something.
Only about 6 years away from him becoming an unrestricted free agent and coming back home.
Yeah, we can all hope for that. Who knows where the Blackhawks will go? They're still in the big rebuild. Still ways away from being competitive. But after that, looking at the schedule, they do have a bit tougher matchups after the Predators back-to-back game. They do face the Rangers the week after, Senators, Bruins. Bruins who are
Yeah.
not the same Bruins anymore. They're not looking very good.
Is that a road trip?
That is the Rangers game is at home. Then they're on a road trip for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. So quite a while from November 23rd to the first week of December. So that'll be something.
I'm okay with catching Boston how they are now. Maybe Swayman not having a training camp has stalled out a little bit.
That for sure, but just in terms of their team and their roster, just it hasn't defensively. They haven't been the same team. Usually they play such a sound game, and I mean obviously you lose players like Bergeron, Krejci, all that. They didn't have them last year. They still look pretty good.
Derek Forbort.
Yeah, exactly. Losing him, that was a big one. It changed their team entirely.
Shout out to condolences to Derek Forbort for losing his dad.
Oh yeah.
And then getting hurt in practice. Rough couple weeks here for Mr. Forbort.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll have some Bort license plates soon.
And
Canucks made a couple big transactions over the last couple. Daniel Sprong was traded to Seattle for dreaded future considerations.
Yeah. What did you think about that?
I'm fine with it. He didn't move the needle either way. He wouldn't have minded giving him a couple more chances to score because he was very dangerous.
Yeah. Do you think they should have kept him around though at that cap hit of 800 something? Just have a depth forward if someone goes down like someone did, I guess, in Besser. So. Yeah, that kind of a little bit surprising, I'd say. I mean,
but I guess Tocchet just could not trust him playing on high leverage minutes with his defensive tendencies.
Yeah, I think Sprong's got to be like a third line player.
Yeah, he struggled defensively. I don't even know. Like he's good, very good offensively. He's got a great shot, great speed, and knows.
Got a lot of
but just as soon as it gets to the red line and past, he just seems to get lost, and not sure where that is especially in this day and age where everyone is pretty defensively responsible.
Yeah, I mean, so some players, it's I think so important in the NHL is defensive play nowadays, right? Like there's so many players that are in the NHL for a couple years, and then they kind of phase out because if you can't round out your game and be trusted, like you said, on the defensive end, then you can't keep them around.
That's why a lot of first round picks who flame out as goal scorers and point producers end up on bottom 6 teams as defensive specialists. Where Sprong is the opposite, where he keeps proving he can score goals in the league, 20 goal scorer for many years, but he just cannot grasp the defensive side of the game.
Yeah, well, he's had one 20-goal season, 21-goal season with Seattle. Last year, almost 20 goals at 18. That Seattle season was good. He had 21 goals in 66 games, 46 points, plus 13. Other than that, a couple minuses last year on Detroit. And, I mean,
How I don't know how he was plus 16. We've all seen him play defensively, but
plus 13. But
his speed and his shot so good. He's got good offensive instincts.
For sure, it just didn't round out the part. I'm still surprised they didn't keep him around to have that extra body or something. But
he doesn't want to go to Seattle yet. He was spotted here at 8 Rinks practicing with a bunch of BCHL prospects.
Right.
That's obviously due to visa thing. He's got to get an American visa. After probably didn't have one since he's played on a Canadian team this year.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, I think we know that the Canucks are going to need to add a defenseman at some point.
Sooner than
Probably
later.
already, yeah, probably they're already looking into it. Kind of hard right now. Teams aren't looking, still trying to figure out where their team is at before they kind of make decisions. So, not too many trades
Yeah.
happening, but
No,
we'll
until
see.
right now, Carson Soucy, once he finds his game, that will help out because he has not had a good start to the
You
season.
know, what do you think about
Have
Hronik? Because
uh,
Hronik is actually he's been okay, but he's been up the team leading +9. So
yeah, inconsistent right now. To me, like
yeah,
I'm glad sometimes he's not noticeable, but or sometimes he just doesn't make the right play.
yeah,
They it, the play that stands out to me right now for him is opening night when he got turnstile up on the overtime
overtime
winning
winner.
goal.
Mm.
I don't know how he played that.
Maybe just tired. Sometimes you're
Yeah,
tired to make stupid mistakes that
yeah,
you
but
can't, your legs can't
he's
move.
helping Quinn become all world. So he's
Yeah,
+9. So
he's team leading
so
+9. So
I just feel like there could be more from Hronik.
yeah, for sure. Especially at his cap it. You want to be good, but I think like after that, just I think you have too many guys that are like third pairing defensemen.
Yeah, that's their whole second pair right now is like that with Susie and Myers.
Exactly. So you need at least
Yeah,
one top
yeah,
four guy.
yeah. Desharnais, Forbort, Yulson, Brandstrom, they're all third
Yeah,
pairing guys.
all third pairing guys. That's the one thing that worries me when even when we're having that talk last week about with Greg about is this team a contender? Like maybe, but not with this back end. There's no way. Like it needs to get better for them to have any kind of shot in the playoffs of
Yeah,
going somewhere.
the fact that they had to give up a fourth rounder just to get Brandstrom, who's a very solid puck moving defenseman, but he doesn't move the needle.
No, because
He
he's a third
shouldn't
line guy.
move the
Yeah.
needle as much as he has.
Hmm.
I don't know what this team would be without him right now.
Oh, he's because he's yeah, like we talked about, he's just plays a different part of the game that they lack, which is puck moving defensemen outside of Quinn Hughes, right? Like,
Yeah, and Hronik.
yeah, there's other guys like you look at Susie forward, Yulson, Desharnais. They're all kind of the other side.
Yeah, this was my biggest concern headed into the season. Like I didn't think they had any. They were gonna have anyone that move the puck outside of that top pair, and it's come to fruition where they just can't. It's just get the puck and it's off the boards and out, and can't play like that anymore.
Yeah,
Game's changed.
yeah, for sure, it has changed. I wonder too, like when it's going to cost something to get a top four defenseman. It's not a third pairing defenseman, like you said, you get for a later pick, like they got Brandstrom
Yeah,
fourth round pick, but
yeah.
top four
A top four.
defenseman, you're gonna need
It's going to cost a
something.
draft pick and prospect.
Yeah, draft pick and prospect, or
Yeah,
if it is a defenseman on an expiring contract, at least a second rounder and plus maybe.
yeah,
So yeah, we'll see. They obviously don't have to do it now, but at some point you could definitely already see that that's definitely needed for the team to, because can't break the puck out, and ideally you'd have someone that could break the puck out, but can also end plays and play well defensively in
yeah,
their own end,
yeah.
not just like the one trick
But
pony.
they don't grow on trees, and
You
not
know,
many teams are looking to get rid of them.
no, and if there is one available, there's probably more than half the league that's going to be
And it's
calling
going
in
to
on
come.
that player as well.
Yeah, transition. Since we're talking about prospects, transitioning into that, Jonathan Lekarmaki, their top prospect, gets the call up for this week,
Hmm.
and through two practices, he's been put on to JT Miller's line.
Yeah, they're giving him a real shot here right away, which is, I guess, nice to see you in a guy that who's an offensive guy, right? Like you don't want him wasting away anywhere down the lineup. He's looked really good in the AHL, 7.7 games. The only thing that I still wonder, like I think it's the same thing. I mean, he's a young guy, so you're gonna give him way more time. Is the defensive side to see how he plays there?
Yeah, he is coming from Sweden, where most of these guys are trained very well at defensively. But
Yeah.
he is a goal scorer also, and as you've seen with Daniel Sprong, they sometimes goal scorers get a lot of leeway with their their defensive marking, and
Hmm.
we'll see how it is. Like Mackie, I'm excited to see him. he's a goal scorer. He's going to get that puck and he's going to start shooting, which
Yeah,
is
we've got a great shot.
something they need. This team needs to start doing.
Yeah, which is interesting to say when you think about some of the players on the roster. Shouldn't be the bigger problem than it is right now. But if you're looking at him, he is a -8 in his 7 games in the AHL. Only one player is worse on the roster. But hopefully
It's
he
not
brings
all
that.
on him. I know
No, of course not.
that I've seen from what I've heard. Abbotsford has they've made a lot of mistakes late in games
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
letting go through the middle, and he just happens to be on the ice because he spent a lot of time playing with Atu Ratu, and who's really solid defensively.
Yeah. And he's young. He's 20 years old, right? Like that just comes with the territory of a young player coming in.
Yeah.
There's so much to learn.
New league, first season overseas.
Hmm.
Playing with JT Miller will hope, and Quinn Hughes will hopefully hide some of those deficiencies. And if he can light up the lamp like he's been doing, it's been great. Like, he is the team's #1 prospect, and he's very highly rated in prospect circles. So,
Do you think he'll? How long do you think he's going to stay up? Do you think this is a thing that's going to stay up for foreseeable future, or do you think he's just going to get a run in games and probably send him back down?
probably more of the latter, especially if Brock
Hmm.
comes back sooner than later. But if
Yeah.
he lights up the lamp and gets points and shows he's defensively responsible, keep giving him the runway.
Yeah.
Then if he works well with JT, Brock comes back, move. You can move him to the second line, and
Hmm.
as much well as Garland, and then all of a sudden Connor Garland, your third line right winger again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though third line right now of Sherwood, Bluger, and Heine are playing well, if you have Lecker-Mackey, if he just proves that you can't send him down, why would you?
Yeah. Yeah. It's all going to depend on his play and offensively and also defensively. So we'll see. I think that's an exciting thing to look at to see how he translates there, to the
It's the
NHL.
depth of the forward group this year. Like when Dakota Joshua comes back,
Yeah.
is there a spot for him right now? There's a spot right now available because Brock's hurt, but
Yeah.
if Brock's not hurt, where's their room?
Yeah, and what you said too, I assume that once Brock comes back and Joshua's in, he's probably going back to the AHL, getting more work in there. But depends how he plays. If he plays so well that you just have no choice to keep him around, you do. But
Do
I guess time will tell.
you play him on the fourth line? Is right?
No, I don't think
Because
that's not good for his development at this age. You got to play good. You got to play good amount of minutes and learn the game. Fourth line, he's just going to waste away. You're not really learning much for an offensive guy like him.
Ratu centering the fourth line, he's a good fit there right now, especially the way he wins faceoffs for this team.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a guy more that you can play down your lineup because his game isn't just it's a more
He's a two-way guy, good
yeah.
offensive. He picked up a lot, but he was playing a lot of wing last year as well. So
Hmm.
that Ratu, I think, has shown enough that he can stick, but a little more seasoning in the AHL isn't going to hurt him either.
For sure, yeah. And he's also how old is Ratu? He's young as well, right?
21,
Yeah,
22.
something like that. Yeah, he's a young guy, so we'll see. I mean, there's just those obviously odd times where or a player can't figure out in the AHL, but in the NHL, out of a sudden they're a great NHL player.
It's
Suits
harder
them
to
more.
play in the AHL than it is to play in the NHL.
Sometimes, yeah, because it's
When I
a
hear,
different level of players, right?
yeah, the structure is more there in the NHL. Everyone's supposed to be in
Yeah.
the right spot.
Hmm.
Or AHL, some guys just don't have it, and they're like, "What's going? The structure is not there. You don't. Guys aren't supposed to be where they are." That's what
Yeah.
guys say when they go down to the minors and play a few games on conditioning stints, really good ones.
Yeah, especially if you've got that hockey IQ that's good enough to play in the NHL, it's hard to go under that in the AHL, where sometimes the structure isn't there, like you said. You get a little lost, and yeah. Um, anything else you wanna bring up before we end the episode? I think we touched on most of the things.
And like in this forward depth right now that the team is playing along with, like
Hmm.
guys like Archdeep Baines, who has shown that he can hang on the fourth line. Niels Oman,
Yeah,
who's a fourth liner. they have options this year.
Yeah, which is good because, as we said, some of their top players maybe aren't as consistent as we'd hope them to be. So
Yeah,
you're gonna need it.
All-time leader in points, goals, and assists for guys named Pius in the league is a jack of all trades. He's literally a Swiss Army knife, playing third line center, fourth line center, top six winger. He is everywhere.
To who? Sorry, I didn't hear you said.
Pius Suter.
Oh, Pius Suter. Yeah. He's playing great.
Yeah,
He's
NHL all-time leader in points, assists, and goals for guys named Pius.
Yeah. Whatever that means.
So,
but he's looking. Yeah. No one else.
No one named Pius has more goals than him.
Is it Pius or Puce? I don't know.
Puce. Well, yeah. Well, whatever.
I don't know. Whatever it is, he knows. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just read it.
No one ever named. He's the all-time NHL leader in goals, points, and assists for guys named that. Yeah.
Hopefully he can keep that. That's a tough stat to keep. But he, if anyone can do it, he can do it.
Well, no one's close right now.
Yeah, no one's close. That's true. Yeah, I think the interesting thing, for me to keep to be looking at for the Canucks is when they start facing some good competition and kind of how they consistently show up to games like that. Because it's hard to gauge. I think they're playing pretty well, but some players not playing well enough. But getting the win.
How many points do you think they should get from this homestand?
This homestand? Well, they have 2 more games left, right? 2 or 3?
3.
3. And they're facing
Islanders, Chicago, and Nashville, and the Rangers. So 4 games left.
I mean, you definitely want to have at least 2 wins. Anything other than that's bad. I mean, the back-to-back. I don't know. They should getting 3 wins. I think the Rangers one is going to be the tough one because the Rangers are a good team.
They split the season series last year with them, both winning overtime wins in each other's home rink.
Yeah, so that'll be an interesting one. I think they should be able to win the Chicago Blackhawks one. They're not a good team. Same with Nashville, who's you would thought would have been better, but they're not looking very good. Back to back, that'll be an interesting to watch maybe because it's their first back to back to see how Vancouver plays in that type of tired legs.
Revenge against Calgary.
Calgary, yeah. They should be able to. That'll be an interesting one as well. We'll see how it shakes up, but hopefully they can, while the schedule right now, pick up as many points as you can, even if it's overtime, loss, or something. Just get the points.
Yeah, you got to win what's put in front of you. That's all you got to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
They don't make the schedule.
Yeah.
If they could play San Jose 82 times a year, that'd be great, but they don't.
No, actually, I don't think that would be a good thing if you're playing that, and then you go to the playoffs and you start playing a good team. You're not going to be ready for it.
Yeah, they'd have home ice advantage for the whole.
Yeah, but well, I don't think San Jose would like that very much. There'd
definitely be a rivalry.
Yeah, it'd be a one-way rivalry.
Oh, they would not like Vancouver very much.
No, boy, that's got to be. What are they? -19 goal differential for San Jose. Yeah. At least they're getting some wins. Like they're 5-9-2. At least there's some W's. Like last year was even worse, I think, for San Jose.
Better start than last year.
Yeah, last year was like just you're watching an AHL team in the NHL. I mean, they got Celebrini, they got something maybe,
He's not playing right now.
Yeah, but I mean, for their future, right? Like he looks to be a really good player.
We're only about 9 years away from him being unrestricted and coming home.
Yeah, everyone's going to come home. The cap is going to go up. And they're
Miller and Pettersson will be at the end of their careers. Their contracts will just have ended. Quinn will hopefully still be here on a long-term contract, so he'll still be dominating. And then since those two looked up to him, they're like, yeah, let's come home. Let's get the Canucks a cup.
Yeah.
Take some home discounts.
2033. Big year for Vancouver. All right.
Waiting for those years.
Hopefully it's a lot sooner than that. Okay. Yeah, that's I'm good on my end. Again, follow us on YouTube, Canucks Chatter. That's where we have all our episodes weekly. Yeah, on X, Twitter,
Yeah.
Canucks Chatter.
That big thing. We have a tentative plan for another special guest. Well, we'll won't know yet for now, but we do have something in the works.
Yeah, yeah. So possibly the next couple weeks, have another guest on, and see how this week shakes up, and catch you guys next week. Thanks for watching.
Go Canucks, go!